What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Rain Race. My boy, AJ Richardson, who's not here today, but we don't need him here because we only got Dallas Mavs here today. We got a very special guest here today. Got a bone to pick with him because before he left ownership, he could have gave me one more contract. He could have gave me one more contract.
Boy, that went by fast. We got to go?
Yeah, facts. It did. But hey, listen, unbelievable person. I mean, like I said, very, very responsive. You wouldn't think so because he's one of the most well-known people in the world, but really, really down-to-earth guy, and I cannot thank him enough for the opportunity and the hospitality he gave me being a Dallas Mav. People, we got Mark Cuban.
Thanks for having me, TP.
Nah, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity and coming on the pod, man. It's been a long time coming. It's been doing this thing for 3 years. We just talked about it before we got on, and I'm just glad we're here now. So let's get right into it, though. I don't want to waste no more time. Mark, where are you from, and how'd you get the love for basketball?
I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And just for as long as I could remember, I had a ball in my hand, played basketball, played all sports. And just for whatever reason, basketball was my love, you know. And, you know, when I was younger and as tall as everybody else, I was pretty good. Then I get to like 8th grade. Yeah. Everybody, you know that story, right?
For sure.
But, you know, it didn't matter how good I was. Just whenever I got the chance to play, whatever level I played at, I just loved to play. To this day, I'll get out there, get shots up, you know, play pickup still. Can't move like I used to, but
you still play to this day?
Yeah, for sure. Because, you know, there's nothing, for all the stress in the world, there's nothing that feels better than watching the ball go through the hoop.
That's a fact.
Right? When you hear that sound of a swish, the world is perfect.
Yeah. What other sports did you play?
I played baseball. Baseball is probably my best sport.
Really?
Yeah. So I played baseball for a while. I wasn't very good at football. I was too slow, but and I didn't play hockey in Pittsburgh. So those were the options.
Why did you not pick baseball?
Same thing. I mean, I made an all-star team every level I played at.
Really?
Yeah, but just never really pursued it for whatever reason. Because, you know, with my family, like, just getting money to do all the stuff was tough.
Got you.
You know?
Got you. So you choose, you love basketball. Yeah. That's your passion. What is something, when did you realize, okay, I need to find a different avenue than basketball because I might not be the best and I can't take this to the next level?
I knew I didn't have a future playing basketball, right?
But
I still love to play. Yeah.
Got you.
You know, so, I mean, I knew that early on. And plus, I was always into business, right? I knew I was good at business.
Yeah.
I was 9, 10 years old, hustling baseball cards, 12 years old, selling garbage bags door to door, 15 years old, 16 years old, selling magazines door to door. I could always sell, right?
Really?
And I was always doing something to make money. And so that was like, I was Mr. Side Hustle from as long as I can remember.
Got you. So you that guy selling bag of chips in school and stuff.
Yeah, those guys selling the candy, right? Yeah. Hey, you know, here's the thing, you know, that was me. I was going door to door.
Where did that come from?
My dad did upholstery on cars. So like if you had a rip in your car seat, you took it to where he worked.
Gotcha.
And my mom just did odd jobs. And they were always like, well, that's great. You want this, this, or this, but you got to earn it on your own.
For sure.
So you've got to go figure out how to make that money. And so I was like, okay, I'll figure it out, right? There's no one to stop me. I was the oldest. You know, I have 2 younger brothers, and it's not like, you know, someone was telling me don't do that.
Yeah.
And my parents were always at work. So it was like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And I did.
That's what's missing today with kids, because now everything's so like, here you go.
It's just right in front of you, right? You just look at it, you see what everybody else is doing.
Exactly.
Like, you know, I didn't know any different. You know, you didn't know any different growing up, right? It's just like, you got to work, right?
You got to figure it out.
You got to figure it out.
And I think that's what it comes down to, because I feel like you probably still use those tactics till this day.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because now, any circumstance, you just problem solve.
You got to, right? Because I'm still competitive, right?
1,000%.
You think sports is competitive, but business is more competitive.
100%.
It's like, you know this with podcasts, right? Everybody's got a podcast now, right? But how do you stand out? How do you keep on getting sponsors? How do you keep on getting guests and everything? You just got to keep on competing. Yeah. And so to me, business has always been the most competitive sport.
Got you.
You know, and so, you know, when I was the youngest, I liked being the youngest because I would kick. Now that I'm the oldest, I like kicking the young asses, right? Because it's like, you think you got me? Yeah. No, you know, because you've got to. It's like sports. You got to always work on your game, and business is no different. And so I'm always like, now with AI, it's just like I'm learning everything that I can because I know it's a game changer, and I want to change the game.
Well, sure, for sure. knowing that, I mean, you're sitting in a situation, you're at a young age hustling, just trying to figure out a way to make it work. Are you leaning on somebody? Is somebody, this is strictly you?
My dad, had no clue when it came to business. Neither my parents went to college. They just worked jobs. My whole neighborhood just worked jobs.
Got you.
There was nobody. I take that back. When I was 16, there was a guy named Zach Pilosoff who my dad knew, who was our rich friend, and lived in the nice part of town. And so he kind of helped me. He gave me a job working, putting, loading stuff on shelves in a drugstore.
Yep.
But he would, answer questions for me and help me and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So he was he wasn't a mentor, but at least there was somebody I knew that at least made money,
gotcha.
Right? And could help me out.
Got you. So in that situation, what is your mindset? You're doing something with business, or what is your mindset? Your dream?
I've got to figure out business, right?
Got you.
And because I had to pay for everything.
Okay.
I had to pay for my own college. I had to pay for everything, right? And so I had to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I was one of those kids where everything was a side hustle, right? I always had an angle. And no matter what, I knew I could sell. Once you go door to door,
yep.
I mean, I was 12 years old selling garbage bags. So it was like, hi.
Yeah.
I'm Mark. Do you use garbage bags?
Yes. Sound like a commercial.
It's true, right?
Yeah.
But who's going to say no to some little kid? And once I learned that as long as you can solve somebody's problems, you got a job, right?
1,000%.
You can sell. And so that kind of carried me through. And but then it was like, okay, where am I going to go with this?
Yes.
And so that's when technology first started to happen. I was like, let's see if I can go in that direction.
1,000%.
And that's what kind of set me off.
I'll give you a quick story. I remember I was with the Mavs and I did like this ad and I put it on Instagram. First thing Mark says to me as soon as he said, Theo, that ad was shit. He's like, you did not sell me at all about what you were talking about. And ever since then, every time I post it, I'm like, he's right. Because I just did it.
You're right. You just don't know, right? You got to learn.
Exactly. And for that, for basketball players, we go through ups and downs, and there's something that across the way when you're young that hits you, and you have you can go either way. What was that for you?
Oh my God, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, there are just times when it was like probably in the 8th or 9th grade.
Okay,
my grades started going down because I was hanging out with these dudes that were like just getting high, and I didn't smoke, but they were just getting high all day. But they were just like guys I knew, right? Yeah. And I would go someplace and they were fucking stealing shit, and I didn't know it.
Yeah,
right. So we got stopped one time,
shit. Yeah.
And I was like, and my dad just went off, right? And so that was like an inflection point where it was just like, you got to be careful who you were hanging out with. I got to be careful what I do, right? And I got to start figuring this shit out. I can't let my grades drop, right? If I don't go to college, I'm working like my dad is, right?
Yeah.
Making $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year. And so that really, forced me to start paying more attention to school.
Got you.
And then I turned into one of those kids that carried a briefcase to school.
Yeah. Did you?
Yes, because I had to go over the top, right? Because my shit went from being great grades, right?
Yep.
To like, C's and,
yeah.
And I'm like, and my parents weren't going to force me or get mad at me. But I was like, this can't happen.
But they're sitting there telling you, like, you can dictate your future.
No, for sure, right? You've got to figure it out, right? But you can't fuck it up like this.
Yes.
And so, it was like 8th, 9th grade. And so I got to get organized. And so I started paying attention to my grades, and, they went up and set me up to go to college.
Got you. So in that situation, you're younger, and there's probably a lot of kids out here, and I think this would be good for them. Understanding there are a lot of ups and downs in business. Yeah. You get told no a lot.
Oh, a lot, right?
How did you handle that at that age, though?
I kept on telling myself every no gets me closer to a yes. Every no gets, because when you're in door-to-door sales, you're getting that door slammed on you a lot.
For sure.
So you can't get mad. Yeah. It's like, shoot or shoot, right? Yeah. You miss a shot, next one's going in, right? Yeah. And it's the same thing with selling. You miss a shot, next one's going in.
1,000%.
And so that's just the way the attitude I always had, even when I was a kid, that, all right, I'm good at this. I know I can do this. And just because this one didn't work, but then I started, not making a lot of money, but a little bit of money at it. And, being able to, buy a pair of shoes or whatever. And that motivates you, right?
Mhm.
When you're doing better than everybody else, even though it's still not easy. Like when I was the best salesperson with this group or that group,
Mhm.
you know, and I was making what I thought was decent money at the time for being a kid. That motivates me.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because we had this conversation, and we got a lot of basketball fans to follow the pod, but at the same time, you can take those things in different areas.
It's the same.
It's the same
It's
thing.
the same.
So in that situation, for me, I'm like, you're here, right? And you have to just embrace the failure.
Oh, it comes.
And it can't discourage you.
Yeah, for sure. Because like in basketball, the game's always changing.
1000%.
You know, the game you played when you played on the Mavs is completely different than
Way
the NBA
different
game
now.
today. Totally different, right? The game you played as a kid, completely different. The game, like my son plays basketball. He's 15, and I'm 6'2". He's a little bit taller than me now at 15. Pisses me off to no end, right? That my son is now big because he beats me now one-on-one, right? But I'm showing him clips of, Pete Maravich and Wilt Chamberlain and stuff. He's like, get out of here with that stuff, right? Things change, but business changes even faster.
Facts.
And I would always tell myself, where there's change, there's opportunity. And my dad used to say, you don't live in the world you were born into. Yeah. Meaning when he was born, there were barely airplanes. Yeah. Right? There wasn't even television yet when my dad was born, and things change. But wherever those things change, there's a lot of opportunity. Yeah. And so that's what I tried to do. I tried to embrace the change so that as things evolved in the jobs I had or the businesses I started, I wanted to stay ahead of everybody, and that was my motivation. Yeah. Right. Just like now, like handles. Every kid's got handles because they see it on Instagram,
1000%.
right? You do everything that you see everybody else do, or they try to shoot like Steph, or whoever now. And so business is the same way. You see how things are changing. Like right now with AI, you got to know it.
Got to.
If you're going to be in, if you're not spending time with ChatGPT and Gemini and, Perplexity and all this stuff, and you're in business,
you're left behind.
You're already left behind. And sports is the same way. You got to evolve. Business is the same way. You got to evolve. But to me, that's always been great. Yeah. Because I'm willing to put in the work. Just like you got to work on your game continuously, or it's over.
And you got to be willing to adapt too. Because I remember towards my years there, I remember you talking about as far as like analytics and stuff. That's a part of the game now. Yep. Before, when I first got in the league, it was sort of in there.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
But now it's like,
it's changed. Now everybody's got it, right?
Everyone's got it.
Right. And it's funny, like how things counter, right? So we look at Shea with the mid-range, right? Yep. And so all teams take away the layup and the three, right? So that leaves open the mid-range, but you still got to be able to shoot it.
1000%.
Right. And now the rules change. Like when you came in, if you bump that shoulder, it's going the other way.
Every time.
Every time. And the NBA refs decide to call the game differently. You got to pick up on it and you got to evolve.
Game involved. I want to talk about this for a second. What was a moment, and for reference, in basketball terms, you sit there and business is confidence. If you don't have that confidence and you don't know that you have a good product, or you don't believe in what you're doing, you have no chance.
Right.
When did you gain that confidence that you could do this?
That's a great question. Probably when I was 16, right? So 9th grade, I recommitted to going to school, right? Okay. And then, I was doing okay. And then when I knew I was into business 100%, right? Okay. That was it. And so I went to Mount Lebanon High School in Pittsburgh, and I went to them, and there was a senior class in economics, and I was a junior. And I was like, I want to take this class. Would you? And they're like, no, you can't do it. I'm like, that's crazy. Why won't you let me take this class? And so I went to the University of Pittsburgh, and I started taking a couple night classes. Okay. And I killed it, right? I'm like, I'm 16 and I could take these classes with all these college students, right? Yeah. I'm like, I got this, right? So I didn't go back to high school for my senior year. I just went to Pitt, joined a fraternity at Pitt, Phi Lambda Phi, and, and I went back for my prom, and I took my prom date to my fraternity house, before the prom date. It was funny as hell, but it was then, right? Yeah. It was just like, okay, I don't have to play by all the same rules. I can challenge myself. Yeah. And by challenging myself, I learned more about myself, and I gained more confidence.
And I think that's a consensus with everything, because for people, like I said, we're going to refer to basketball and business. That's like playing your age group, but you went to another age group to challenge
exactly
yourself.
Right. When you play up in basketball, right, you want to see. Like Cooper's mom said, you know, if you're the best player on the court, it's time to find another court. It's time
to find something else. 1,000%.
You know, which was genius, right?
At age 13, 14, I played 17s. I never played my age group after that because I wouldn't have been where I was if I didn't challenge myself.
You got to
be better. And then once you find out, oh wait, I can compete with,
and I'm better than a bunch.
I'm better. Oh, okay. No. There's nothing stopping me.
Exactly.
Because I'm just going to only get better.
Exactly.
And I think that's huge. I mean,
and then you go from your local area to regional, to national.
Exactly.
And then people are like asking you to give this speech, or that's for me from business. You know, would you come talk here? Would you come talk at this event? Or that? I'm like, okay, you want me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll come.
What is your conversation like with your parents doing this?
They just didn't understand it at all. Like, I remember I got to the point I was 26. How old was I? 28 maybe. And I had $100,000 in the bank. And I sat down with my dad to tell him. And all he did was start crying and crying and crying and crying. And, you know, and then it got to the point I sold that company. I was just like to my parents, just whatever you want to do. You just go do whatever you want to do. And, you know, they were proud, obviously, but till the day my dad died, either my parents, I don't think they really understood the whole thing, but, you know, they were obviously proud.
It's crazy. Like, they had no idea how much of a drive you had.
No, it got to the point they were like, where did this come from?
I'm sitting here listening to the story. I'm just like, you just went and got it.
Oh, I was a beast. Still, right? Like, you know, I might not win, but it's not because I didn't put in the effort. Like, I got all these stupid sayings that now I tell my kids and they hate it. But, you know, the one thing in life you can control is your effort. Every no gets you closer to a yes. How you do anything is how you do everything. All these things that I just tell myself over and over and over. You know, it's just like when you're working out, you know, playing ball, it's just like, I'm not tired. Right? I got more in me.
For
this
sure.
is, you know, when you can play tired, you can play. Right? It's the same thing in business, right? I can't stop learning. I got to keep on learning. I got to keep on experiencing new things. I got to keep on taking chances that put me in a position to try new things. Because the minute you get stale, it's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
You go to Pittsburgh and you fucking skip
my senior year.
Skip your whole senior year.
Yeah, I would Pitt for 1 year.
I'm good.
But Pitt didn't have a business school. So I'm like, okay, this was fun for 1 year. It was great. So I could transfer my credits from Pitt back to high school so I could graduate from high school.
Okay.
So I was officially a high school graduate. I mean, high school dropout, and then I was a graduate.
Yeah.
But then I transferred to Indiana. I saw a list of the top 10 business schools.
Okay.
And Indiana had the cheapest one, and I got in. So that's how I got to IU.
That's crazy. And then you make that move. What is, I would say, you're dealing with a lot of different things in college.
Yeah, for sure.
You can get called into life, and you are driven. How you distinguish both of those and play a part in both?
Glad you asked. So I get there, and I said, okay, I'm not going to drink my first 2 years. I'm not going to have that typical party experience my first 2 years.
Okay.
Because I'm going to take hard classes. And I want to challenge myself to see if I'm smart.
Yeah.
And so I went, and this is when registration was different, but I snuck into this graduate level statistics class.
Okay.
K503. And so I stood in line. It wasn't online back then. And I registered. And they let me take the class. And I got an A in it. And I was like, okay, this was, you know, an MBA class, and I'm 18 years old, and I'm getting an A.
Yeah.
What else can I do?
Exactly.
Right? But because I snuck into that one class, they thought I was in the MBA program. So they let me take all these other MBA classes, and it got, you know, and I had to work to figure it out, but I was even tutoring people.
Oh my God.
It was insane.
Yeah,
it was just like, crazy. I had no idea, right? I mean, until I tested myself, I had no idea. I had to work at it, but it was business, and business wasn't hard for me to learn.
Yeah.
You know, and so I was taking, by the time I finished my sophomore year, I had more than a year of my MBA done. And then one day I was walking on campus, and this dude turned out to be the dean of the MBA program, walked up to me on campus at IU, starts poking his finger in my chest. He goes, I don't know how you did it, but you're going back down to undergrad. And so literally they kicked me out of the MBA program that I'd never registered for. I only took the classes. And but I could take those credits and transfer them to undergrad. And then because I'd taken all the hard classes already, my last 2 years at IU were
piece of cake. I
started a bar. Man. I did all this shit. Yeah.
You just thinking of shit.
I just go, right? I just go. It's just like, it's an experience. It was business. It was teaching me. And by the time I got to be a junior or senior, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. What do you mean you started a bar?
I started a bar, Motley's Pub. And so
you're in college.
My senior year in college. Actually, even before my senior year, we worked on the summer during the summer. Me and my buddy Evan and Dyke and all these. I played rugby in college, and so all these my fellow rugby players.
Yeah.
And so they would all help me, and it was like this bar was like not doing well.
Yeah.
And so I started off by throwing parties, just like a party promoter.
Yep.
So I'd be a party promoter and I'd just get all kinds of people. They let my friends who were underage in. So I made money. That's how I paid for school. Yep. They made money. They were happy, but it was only like whenever I could do it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, why don't you let me buy the bar? And so my friend Evan, who played rugby and graduated, had a real job. I took out a loan. Actually, it was a student loan I took out. He took out a loan, and we opened this bar, Motley's Pub. If we didn't have a line to get in the first night, there would have been no second night. And it just crushed it. It was the bar on campus, but for better or worse, I let my friends in who weren't old enough.
Yeah.
And like 6 months later or whatever, we got busted.
Yeah.
And that ended up, and we opened back up and everything, and it worked through the first year and half a year after that. But it was just like, it was done at that point, which is the best thing that ever happened to me. Because otherwise, like there were guys who worked for me at Motley's Pub that when I go back to IU and, you know, they're working at this place called Nick's, that literally they were working for me and now they're still working in the bar business. No disrespect for, you know, a life working in the bar business, but that would have been me.
You think you just would have been like,
I would have just stuck with it.
You're so comfortable.
Yeah, I was comfortable with it, right?
Got you.
And so I was like, thank God. And then from there, I moved to Dallas and the rest is history.
Wow. That's just...
It's when I think back and it's like, I don't know if I could pull it off today just because there's so much attention to everything and everything's online and everybody, you know, has pictures of everything everywhere. But yeah, it was fun.
What was the move to Dallas for?
So I finished at Indiana and a bunch of my buddies went down to Dallas.
Okay.
And I grew up in Pittsburgh and went to school in Indiana. I was tired of the cold weather. I was done. Yeah. And so they were like, come to Dallas. The weather's great, right? The economy's booming. The women are hot. I'm like, I'm on my way.
Yep. That'll do it.
That'll do it, right?
You convinced me.
It was no lie. And so I went down there. There was 5 guys living in a 3-bedroom apartment it was in an apartment complex called The Village, which at the time was like the largest apartment complex in the country.
Okay.
And I was roommate number 6. So there's 6 of us living in a 3-bedroom apartment. I slept on the floor because I was the last one in.
Yeah.
And I got a job working at a bar as a bartender at night until I finally got a job working in computers.
Wow. Started off as a bartender.
What's that?
All this started off a bartender.
All of it started off in Dallas. Bars and bartending. Yeah.
That's
and then Dallas.
crazy.
Yeah. And then I got this job working selling software at one of the first software stores in Dallas.
Okay.
And then about 9 months in, I got fired. And at that point, I was like, I can't be an employee anymore. So I started my own company called Micro Solutions, just me still sleeping on the floor, like one customer at a time. You know, after I got fired, I went to this one company. I'm like, you know, you came into the store, you wanted to work with me. I got no money. I'm literally broke, sleeping on the floor. If you put up the first $500 for the software you wanted, I'll keep $250, right? I'll buy the software for $250, and I promise you I'll make it work, or I'll, you know, sweep your floor, you clean, wash your car, whatever it takes. It worked. And then they referred me to somebody else, who referred me to somebody else, and my business grew it to 80 people. Didn't take a vacation for 7 years, sold it for $6 million. So that was my first step up.
Man, talk about patience.
Yeah.
And talk about just, I
don't know if I had patience, but that's what it took, right?
Yeah, I mean, you wanted to work so fast.
I just wanted it to work, right?
Yeah.
And I did, you know, it's like your podcast. You got to do the work.
You got to do the work.
Right? It's not all of a sudden
trash at first.
Well, you just got to keep on grinding through it and learning, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's not automatic. And you know, the minute you let up, it's going to crumble. And that's the same with that business.
You're sleeping on the floor and you're just like, every step, you're just trying to figure it out.
Exactly.
How are you taking back those memories from Pittsburgh of like, I got it into Indiana. I'm in the NBA. They didn't even know I was in there. And then next thing you know, you're in Dallas and you're trying to figure out again. Are you taking little things that you learn from there?
Oh, everything. I'm building on everything I learned.
Yeah.
Right. Because especially with technology, you've got to, it's always changing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to build on what you already learned.
Yeah.
And so I actually liked it. I mean, I worked my ass off. I taught myself how to program, taught myself all this technology, but I liked it a lot. So I didn't feel like, oh, fuck, I got to go to work.
Exactly.
Right? There were times, right, don't get me wrong, where I was just like worn out.
Yeah.
But the company kept on growing, kept on making more and more money. And so it was, you know, it was worth it.
So you say that one company you went to, that was your big break.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the company I started.
Yeah, the one you started with.
And then I sold it. Yeah. And so that was my first big, okay. Because my deal always was, like I saw how hard my parents worked.
Mm-hmm.
See, my deal always was, I'm going to sell my company because I want to own my own time.
Mm-hmm.
Like until I got an iWatch to track workouts, like when I sold that company, Micro Solutions, my dad had given me a watch for my college graduation.
Okay.
Now, he saved up to get me this watch, and that's the only thing I wore that was jewelry. But I told him when I sold this company, I'm never going to wear a watch again because that means I'm working on somebody else's time. When I sold that company, I owned my own time because my whole mission was to retire by the time I was 35. And when I sold this company, Micro Solutions, I bought a lifetime pass on American Airlines, and it was this card I had, and all I had to do was show up, and they would let me and somebody else on any flight to go anywhere in the world.
What? That's elite. That's elite.
Let me just tell you, I put it to work.
First place you went?
With the first place I went was, I was in LA, and I don't even remember the first place I went because like I would just go into a club and find somebody and say,
be like, you
Vegas,
want to go?
Here we go. And
you
just like,
a great life.
Let's go. Oh my God. It was like, if you could transport me back there, I'm there. Yeah, I'm there. I mean, I went to Moscow, Barcelona, you name it, with my guys, you know, just where we want to go. Yeah. You know, it was just a lifetime pass, and it was amazing.
So what made you sell it?
Sell the company?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to have my time to myself.
Got you.
You know,
you put in all that work.
I wanted to party like a rock star.
Yeah.
And I was really good at that too.
Yeah.
As good as I was at business, I could go, right? I could definitely go.
I definitely know that. I definitely know that for sure.
Yeah, because that piss and vinegar in me, and so I wanted to control my own time. I wanted to retire. I like my companies, all the companies, but it's just like you don't own your company. Your customers own you. Yeah. Right. You're doing what they need. And at some point, you know, I was 31 years old at the time. I was like, let's go. You know, I'm just ready to go have fun. And that's what I did. You did that, but then you locked back in. Yeah. So I was retired, right? And then I started buying and selling stocks, and I killed it. Just killed it because I knew all the technology, and I was shocked. Like, I knew technology better than the people who were buying and selling the stocks. Yeah. And so I got with this broker, and he would at Goldman Sachs, and he would always have me talk to their analysts. And I was like, they were asking me questions, then they go on CNBC or whatever it was back then and say the same thing I just told them. Yeah. And the stocks would go up or down 20 points. I was like, and my guy was like, you got to be making money off of this. 1,000%. So I started doing it, and I crushed it. Yeah. Right. Took that and turned it into hedge fund that I only had for 9 months before somebody bought it from me. But I was back in Dallas, and I went back up for this girl. Didn't work out, but she's cool. And Holly, shout out Holly Henderson. Yeah. Now Holly Bourne. And so, in any event, I went back, and then, you know, I talked to one of my buddies from Indiana, and we get together for lunch at California Pizza Kitchen. Yep. And this was like 1994 or 5, early 95. And he was like, Mark, you know all this networking stuff, because that's what my first company did. We connected computers together, and I wrote software for him. And he's like, this whole new thing called the internet. There's got to be a way where we can listen to Indiana basketball down in Dallas, because literally, like, if there was a big, you know, Indiana game, Indiana, Purdue, whatever, we would have somebody in Bloomington put a radio next to a speakerphone. Remember speakerphones? Yes. Yeah, and we'd have a speakerphone in somebody's office, buy a 12-pack of beer and listen to the game. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I got to be able to figure this out, right? Somehow. So we started a company called AudioNet, and that turned out to be the very first streaming company.
Okay.
And that was started the whole streaming business. And so we just started rolling with it, and it just started to blow up.
Yeah,
like, big
for
time.
sure, because everybody trying to do that at that point.
Well, at that point, nobody even knew what it was,
exactly.
right? And so we were trying to explain to people what it was. I'd be like, so you connect your PC to this thing called the internet, and you can listen to sports from anywhere. And they're like, dude, I'll just turn on the TV.
Yeah.
Or I'll just, thinking I'm an idiot. And I'm like, you just wait, right? This is going to be the thing forever. And, we started with that and started slow. But once things went live, we were Spotify before Spotify, YouTube before YouTube, went public in 1998. It was the biggest first day jump in the history of the stock market at the time. We were killing it. Then sold it to Yahoo for $5.7 billion in stock, collared that stock so that when the internet bubble burst, I actually made money and turned it into cash.
Yeah.
And then bought the Mavs. The rest is history.
What made you just fuck around and just buy the Mavs?
So, I was a season ticket holder, right?
Like great decision, man. Fuck it. Let me just buy this team.
Pretty much. Pretty much. And pretty much. You have no idea.
Like,
So I was a season ticket holder. Like, I loved hoops so much. Like, the Mavs are so bad, we could buy $5 or $10 tickets. And except when we played Michael Jordan, I literally would just, walk down to the front row with my friends. There was always no problem at all. Like, I mean, I can tell you stories. We'd be yelling at Barkley. I mean, Robert Parrish, I remember, because there's nobody in the arena. So the guys hear everything you say, right? Yeah. And I'd be like, yo, Chief, you're getting turned into a fat ass salad bar, bro. When he was shooting a free throw. And he started cracking up. Like, and when you're just a dumbass fan and you're getting, one of the players to crack up, right? You like won. You won the night, right?
I'm going here every day.
Every game, right? See what I could do. Now, it was always nice, but it was just like, And then my first 2 season tickets weren't even next to each other. They were like catty corner because that was the only way I can get close to the floor. And then 98, after we went public, I bought real season tickets like right next to the bench.
Okay.
Like not front row, but like catty corner, perpendicular. And my girlfriend, now my wife, and I would go, and my brothers would go to the games all the time. Like we literally would go to every game.
Okay.
And the Mavs had talent, but we sucked. So this was the 99 season, going to 99-2000 opening night. And I'm like, expecting the house to be full. Yeah. Right? We got Dirk, we got Nash, we got Finley, we got my favorite, Sean Bradley, and Stone Cold Sean Bradley. Yeah. And so I'm like, where is everybody? And then it dawned on me, I can put my money where my mouth is, right? So the guy who was my season ticket rep, I told him, do you think Perot Jr., who owned the team at the time, would be interested in selling? He's like, well, let's find out. And he only did it for the real estate of opening up a new arena. Yeah. And so literally within a month, we had a deal. And I probably could have negotiated a better deal, but to me, it was like,
want to get it done.
Yeah, well, it was like Yahoo stock that I owned at the time. If it went up $20, that paid for the Mavs just like that. I remember I was on the bus, going to a game, going to the arena, sitting by Don Nelson and Del Harris, our coaches. And they're like, because it was the most paid for any team at the time. Okay. Like, why'd you spend so fucking much? I'm like, Nelly, the stock just went up. This Yahoo stock went up $20 today. That paid for the whole thing right there. Like, I didn't have to stress over it at all. For sure. And so I was like, let's go. And it was funny. And the funny part was, like, the night before I knew I was taking over the team, me and my friends went out to this club, and Dirk and Nash were there. Really? And I'm trying so hard to get them to buy, let me buy you a drink. Huge fan, let me buy you a drink. They're like, no. And it was this crazy club too, called the Stark Club. And then the next day I walk in, they're like, oh fuck. Shit.
That's why you was trying to buy us a drink. First order of business was what? Once you got the team.
So first order was to let everybody know we're going to win, right? That we're doing all we can to win because, I remember I had my first team meeting, introduced myself. Gary Trent Sr., not Gary Trent Sr., right? Yep. Big dude, right? I'm like, what do we need to change? He goes, Mark, we get into Oakland, California at 3 a.m. and we stay at hotels that don't even have room service. Do you want us walking around Oakland, California, 3, 4 a.m. looking for something to eat?
That's a fact.
And I'm like, I got you. So we immediately upgraded to 4 seasons or better, right? We had the shitty ass plane that like was not propeller plane, but guys were afraid. Like we literally would have, I'm not going to drop names, but we would have guys who were like in the aisles screaming and praying.
Oh, hell
like there's some guys who are afraid of flying.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say which North Carolina guy it was.
Oh, shit.
But yeah.
Yep. I probably know who it is. But at the same time, there's guys to this day that's still scared of flying. And we on the nicest fucking planes you can think of. Of
course, right? You hit one bump.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, there's, yeah. And sometimes it's the biggest dudes.
Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%.
But anyway, so, you know, we got the new hotel, upgraded all that. So it had great room service, got suites for the guys who were there more than 10 years. We, you know, we got a nutritionist, so all the food. Because, like, I go to Dirk, what do you eat before a game? He's like Snickers and potato chips.
That's Dirk. That's sick work. That is crazy. Snickers and potato.
And I'm like, no, that's
before
not
an NBA game.
Yeah, but that's a lot of guys would do. Shit, when I got there was alcohol in the locker room. Oh, and they would tell stories about, you know, Vlade Divac or whoever smoking a cigarette and having a beer at halftime.
Oh, this is crazy. This is crazy. He played at the highest level.
I mean, it's just like they're smoking cigarettes and and it was just like, I'm like, no, right?
Did you know what you was walking into?
No, I had no idea.
Zero idea.
No,
you just like, fuck it, let me buy the team.
It's always worked for me before. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And so, and it was like a dream. I'd never dreamed that it would happen, right? It's not something that ever even crossed my mind. Like, for where I came from, the idea of buying a team, no, it's just like never crossed your mind at all. But once I got there, it was just like any other company I'd started. I'm like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I did. And so I remember getting in there and I'm like, this train's speeding up. We're going to take over this town because we had sucked for so long. There was only one direction. And I remember talking to our coaches and they're like, well, you know, we could sandbag this year, try to get a good pick. I'm like, no, at some point we got to learn how to win.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're telling me that Dirk is really good. I mean, I think he's good, but I don't know how to evaluate talent, right? Yeah. You're telling me Nash is really good. And this is when Nash was hurt and they were booing him every time he touched the ball.
Really?
Oh my God. Yeah. Sean Bradley and this and that. So I'm like, let's just go for it. So we were 9-23 when I took over and finished out like 31-19 for the rest of the year.
Not bad.
Like, yeah, 40-42. And next year we won 50 some games. And then we didn't win less than 50 games for the next 10 years.
That's elite. That's elite. What
league was a lot different back then, though, because of the salary cap.
For sure. So, knowing that, how are you able to continue to just be yourself? You see, there's no owner like you.
Yeah. I mean, why would I change? Why would I change?
1,000.
Yeah,
I agree.
Why would I change?
I agree.
I bought the team not for any other reason than to have fun. Like I was playing Dirk one-on-one, you know, and like I played him. I'm 1-0. So I played him. I scored 2 quick hoops. I missed a shot. He scored. I quit.
Hey,
and there's video.
You got to one up. You got one up on him. And I think that's the unique thing about you is just you never change.
No,
and I think you being a genuine and charismatic guy, that's why everybody has the utmost respect for you because you could be the asshole.
Yeah,
you could be that, and you're just not. And understanding. You just want the best for everybody. You want the best for the Mavs, and whatever you can do to help that,
I would.
You're gonna do that.
I mean, I was living the dream, though, man. I would go out before games and shoot for money with guys, and and just get shots up, and I mean, what could be better than that?
Yeah,
right. And I just remember like I'm like, this is my fucking arena, and I'm getting shots up before my team plays.
Yeah,
and then early on, though, like again, it just changes over time. But like my first 2 years, maybe. I would bring a change of clothes, and whenever we played on the road, I always made a point to go out there and get shots up, like before our guys came out.
Yeah,
and and it was right when fans would come in, so and I wasn't athletic, but I could shoot, right? So I'd be out there knocking down threes and all this and that, and like having the fans go out. I'm like, this is the best thing ever, ever, And so it was, it was a dream come true, and it was just like. Why screw that up?
Yeah.
I don't have anything to prove to anybody.
When did you know Dirk was Dirk?
We knew Dirk was an all-star, like, because there was the lockout the year before I bought the team. And then when I took over the team, once we started to gel and started to win, you started to see it.
You saw it.
And then the next year, he improved. Like Dirk worked so hard in the offseason. And, you know, we were always talking about what he was going to add to his game. But the next year we went and we played Utah in the playoffs, and Dirk was Dirk.
Yeah.
Right. And then really the next year, though, it wasn't even the first year we made the playoffs, because we beat Utah. That was like Stockton and Malone's last hurrah. And then we lost to San Antonio with Duncan. But the next year we played KG and Wally Zerbiak and the T-Wolves, and it was best out of 5.
Okay.
And Dirk went 30 and 20 like
when
every
they stopped
game.
doing best out of 5?
I think that was like the last year.
Oh, okay.
When they did like 2002 or 2003. But Dirk, it was Dirk versus KG.
Oh,
and
yeah.
KG had been in the league longer, right? And was established. And Dirk just
gave him the business.
Yeah. I mean, he was 30 and 20, and we swept him 3-0.
And
then every year, Dirk would come back, and he'd be good in the regular season, but come playoffs, he was Dirk.
A problem.
Yeah. He was real.
How are you evaluating every season? Because you talk about this now in the NBA, like the Oklahoma City Thunder, right? Even the Mavs a year ago. How do you know, okay, we didn't win it, but we still got a really good team? How are you evaluating having a good team? It's easy on a bad team.
Yeah, you know what's wrong. Yeah.
You know what's wrong.
Yeah.
How do you evaluate on a good team what improvements you need to make? When
first,
it's just like, maybe we just need to,
first you got to be self-aware.
Okay.
Right? Because to get to the finals, and particularly to win a final, you need luck.
Yeah. Oh,
you need luck, right? Like the year we won, like guys got, Brandon Roy wasn't 100%, and we were able to beat the Blazers. And then we went on a run. We got hot. And so you got to know when you're just hot, right? And guys are making shots. You know, when Deshaun Stevenson, and I love D. Steve, right? But in the gym by himself, he couldn't make threes to save his life. Nuts. In a game,
knock him in.
In the finals, he was shooting 40+%,
yeah,
right?
It's crazy. Cause you talking about D. Steve, I'm thinking he's a shooter. That's what I know him for. You know what I'm saying? Shooting defender.
We were like, and he knows this. We were trying to trade him, and no one wanted him. Yes. But the guys stood up for him, right? The guys were like, he's a dog, right? He's got that heart, and he's a gamer. And I was like, okay, everybody stood up for him. Everybody came forward and said something. So, okay, we stopped talking about trading him. We'll let Abraham Lincoln, stick around. The Abraham Lincoln tat, that was classic.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And D. Steve, but to answer your question, how do you know, right? You got to be brutally honest about what's going on.
Yeah.
You have to look to see what happened good or bad with your team, what happened good or bad with other teams. Look at Hallie. Yeah.
Terrible luck.
And OKC went to 7 games against Denver. And Denver wasn't Denver.
AG hurt.
Right?
Yeah.
And they had lost, some guys, right, that carried them before. And so that's not to take anything away from OKC. They're the champs.
But a championship run, you have to get lucky.
You got to get lucky.
It's the only way around.
It's just the way it goes, right?
It's just the way it goes. And I think you have the top of the top. How do you handle making tough decisions to people that you build
like
relationships with?
That you like hard.
Yeah.
Like I've traded guys and cried.
Yeah.
Right. Particularly early on. Like,
yeah, me too.
There were guys that I got. Right. Watching Theo walk out that door.
I was like, fuck, bro. Damn, Mark, I thought we was tight, bro.
Oh man.
But I know it's tough. Yeah.
Come back.
I know it's tough.
Yeah, they wrote that song, Theo, come back.
Yeah, no, they're facts. That has to be the hardest part of it.
It's really hard, right? Because there were always people saying, you can't get that close to guys. You can't get that close to guys. I'm like, look, basketball is X number of years of your life in the NBA, right? The rest of your life is a whole lot longer.
For sure.
And we'll have that relationship that entire time. And there's guys like, I let Steve Nash walk. It was probably the biggest mistake I made during my term as running the Mavs. And he didn't like me for a while, but now we're cool again, right?
Yeah.
But, and I'm cool with Luka. It's just, that's the NBA. That's the business of the NBA.
Yeah.
But the hardest part about all that is usually the CBA.
Yeah.
The CBA makes everything either easier or harder. Early on, it made it easier because when I first got in, it was just a bunch of old guys that they weren't about basketball. They were about their businesses.
Gotcha.
And they bought a basketball team for whatever reason. Excuse me. So I could, I would buy draft picks. I would, and they didn't care. They just wanted to check.
Yeah.
So it made it easier for the Mavs. And then the next CBA came around in 2011. There was a little bit of walkout. But now this latest one with the second apron,
yeah,
how you build a team changes completely.
It has changed.
Everything.
And it kind of makes the vets a lot harder making teams.
Yes.
It definitely makes the vets a lot harder teams.
Yeah.
And it's like,
because your minimum is like 2.8, depending on how long you've been in, right?
It's crazy now. Like you got to pay a vet minimum is like $4 million at this point.
Yeah. And like what they count against the cap is like less than that now because they do this credit back, but still it's a lot.
Yeah.
Like last year with the Mavs, we couldn't even add Brandon Williams. It was just a rookie contract, right? Until there were like 8 days left in the season.
Yeah.
Just because of the second apron, because we had made a trade. And so just trying to make all those pieces fit, and you see OKC signing these 3 guys, and it was actually smart.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you look at where the cap is going, up 10% a year for the next however many years, you want to sign your best player sooner rather than later.
Gotcha.
Because if you're going to pay the max, the sooner you sign them, the lower the max percentage.
Gotcha.
Right. So if you're paying 25% of a lower number, that's better than them saying, okay, because it took Sam Presti saying to them, please sign now. Don't wait an extra year when you'll be up against a bigger cap.
Yeah.
I'll give you the max, sign now, because that'll help us.
And then we can continue to build. And that's the thing. It's like, I wonder, what was you said Steve Nash was your hardest.
Yeah, that was my mistake.
That was your biggest mistake.
That's my mistake.
Why'd you let him walk?
Because the year before he left as a free agent, he was hurt a lot.
Okay.
And our doctor, he was averaging and I'll never forget, he was averaging like 29 minutes a game. And if he's going to be your guy, you got to be playing more than 29 minutes a game, right? And our doctors said it could be an ongoing problem.
Yeah.
Steve worked his ass off to make sure it wasn't a problem and wins 2 MVPs. Just like Luka's probably going to win 2 MVPs, right?
Yeah.
JB would, it's just the way it works. You're never going to get them right.
What was your hardest trade?
Eric Strickland.
Really?
Yeah. Eric showed me the ropes a lot when I first got to the Mavs, and we hung out. Because you got to remember, like, I'm 41 when I buy the Mavs. So there wasn't like some guys, I was younger than a couple guys in the league. Yeah. That's one of the reasons we signed Kevin Willis, because he was older than me. Yes. And I wanted one guy to be older than me. And so, I mean, I was close to a lot of guys, but I got really close to Strick, and that one was tough. We traded him to New York for Donnell Harvey. And, Donnell didn't work out, unfortunately, but that was the toughest one.
For sure. Well, 2011. Before 2011, did you know y'all were close?
Yeah, we knew we were good. We just didn't know if we had what it took.
Gotcha.
Right, just mentally, because we had made it to the finals and lost to the Heat in 2006 when we should have won. When we should have won, right? And
that one was sickening.
Was that?
You still think about that one?
Oh, like someone brought it up to me yesterday, and they're like, "Yeah, you think Dwayne Wade beat you?" I'm like, "No, Bennett Salvador beat us." For those who don't know, he's a ref. And I stand by that.
No, I already know you do.
Yeah, and so, but we knew, but you still, you got to get on that roll.
Yeah.
And but I think what put us over the top was getting Tyson Chandler.
Yes.
And the story behind that was, Tyson was getting traded from not Charlotte. Yeah, what's that? New Orleans. I forget if he went to Charlotte. No, Tyson was supposed to go to New Orleans. No, from New Orleans to Oklahoma City. And they rescinded the trade because the doctor who actually did the operation on Tyson's foot said he wouldn't pass the physical, which is crazy in and of itself. And then I think they traded him to Charlotte. I called up Michael Jordan and said, I don't think if you guys don't want to keep Tyson, and pay him the whatever it was, $13 million or whatever in his last year of his contract. We have Eric Dampier who has a non-guaranteed contract. I'll swap with you. And and they threw in Alex Aginsta, so we took back a little bit more money. And I'm like, done. And that was it. And that was just one quick phone call to Michael Jordan, and that was our difference maker. And that's what gave us, a big who could defend, and that changed our defense.
1000%. And Let me ask you this. What year was it the Golden State year?
2006, 2007.
Man.
That was brutal. That was because
ran into a buzzsaw.
Well, it was like two sides to that, right? First, it was Don Nelson, who was our former coach.
Yep.
And Don Nelson and Donnie Nelson discovered Dirk, right? They were the ones who brought him over, so they knew his game intimately. And the Warriors won like 9 out of the last 10, including beating us.
Okay.
And then we were like 6-4 of the last 10, and they knew exactly how to play Dirk. Because they coached him, right?
Yeah.
And that was it. But that's not the craziest part of that year.
Okay.
The craziest part of that year is this is the Tim Donaghy year, right?
Okay.
And so the Warriors were playing the Bulls. And there was one part of that game, it was an overtime game, right? Ends up going to overtime. And there's one part of the game where you see Tim Donaghy to get this guy's name, Andrus Biedrins, who was a center for the Warriors, right? It's a tie game. Ben Gordon is sitting up at the top of the key, dribbling, right? Getting ready to take the last shot to try to send it try to win the game or go in overtime, right?
Yeah.
And Tim Donaghy, Andrus Biedrins, the center, is standing in the paint. Tim Donaghy moves him out of the way instead of calling the defensive 3 seconds call. Moves him out of the paint.
Yeah, I've never
They
seen that.
missed the shot. They missed the shot, goes into overtime, Warriors win. If he had not done that, or if he had called defensive 3, Ben Gordon, who's an 80+% free throw shooter, probably hits the shot. Then they have to foul, and the Bulls game over, right? Warriors don't make the playoffs.
Wow. Because at that point, y'all were the number 1 seed.
Yo, we're killing. We won 67 games.
Y'all were cooking.
Killing it.
Oh,
killing
my gosh.
And we kind of let up at the end of the year, but it's just those little things in the NBA.
Those little things. Hey, got to get lucky.
Got to
get lucky. But you lose to the Heat, then you play them again in 2011.
Yep.
Do you remember the famous...
Oh, of course. Those two guys.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. And
I know he was pissed.
Oh, I mean, you know Dirk, right? Dirk's like,
he
doesn't say anything. Yeah,
he don't
right?
say nothing.
Oh, but you can see when he's mad and he's motivated. He uses that internally to get mad. And even before that, so it was game 2. We were playing them, and they went up 15 in the fourth quarter. When I sit right behind the bench, and D Wade hit a shot or whatever, somebody hit a shot, and D Wade is right in front of our bench. He's going, like the game's over.
Yeah.
Right? They're up 15 with like 7 minutes to go or whatever. We came back. Oh, no. And then even before that, at halftime of that game, before that happened, back then in the Heat's arena, you walk up, center court and you make a left to go to visitors' locker room. And Pat Riley was there. And Pat Riley goes to me, "We're too long and too quick for you guys, Mark. This is the second game of the series."
Pat talking shit?
Pat talking shit. I'm like,
okay. Yeah.
Whatever, Pat, right?
Yeah.
And then they go up 15, and I'm thinking, maybe he's right. And then
maybe he's right. And then everything changes.
Everything changed.
Jet was huge in that series. Oh, boy.
Jet was unstoppable. Really, that
they
game
had nothing
6,
to do with him.
No, Jet with just that pull up.
Yeah.
Right. Just money. And then I'll never forget game 6. We were up like 9, and there was like a minute and a half to go. So it was still, a game.
Yeah.
Jet pulls up from 27. Cash money. And then we come back, and I'm still not letting it sink in, right?
Yeah.
Right? Because in 2006, there was a point in game 3 in Miami, we were up 14 in the third quarter, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, we might sweep these motherfuckers. 2 seconds later, Giannis steals the ball, right? Right after that, Eric Dampier gets the shit fouled out of him by Shaq, and they called a foul on Damp, and Shaq hits the 2 free throws. And I'm thinking, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
And so now fast forward to 2011, and we're starting to roll, and I'm thinking, I'm not going to let this get in my head that we're going to win. And then with about, 30 seconds to go, we were up 10, and I'm like,
It hit you.
It hit me.
Oh, and then you party like you just sold that for that $6 million.
We took over. We took over.
I know the parade in Dallas was insane.
Hot, but it was crazy.
It was just hot.
But it was crazy. We're, Dirk, all he wanted to do was sing "We Are the Champions" all day, every day. And so that's what we did.
That's a good
We
time.
took that trophy everywhere.
You reached that mountaintop. You got there.
Oh. It's almost anticlimactic. Yeah.
You're a competitive guy. You want to get back there so bad. How do you shift your mindset to try to understand like it's not easy and it's going to be a battle?
Well, I knew because I'd been in the league 11 years at that point, so I knew.
Yeah.
But there was a lockout.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was
right after we won, and I'm hoping this lockout lasts for a long time so we can stay champs, right? But then we get a call or an email from David Stern like 3 a.m, and saying, okay, the season starts December 25th. And it was like beginning of December. I'm like, fuck, we got an old team, right? You don't just turn on, and say we're ready to go in 3 weeks, And so, it was at that point we made a decision, okay, we're not going to bring everybody back, because Dirk was 33 or turning 33 at the time. And now 33 doesn't seem near as old as it did 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It just was different. And so I made a decision that we can go towards cap room. Didn't work out the way I hoped it would, but it is what it is.
Yeah, those are just like one of those moments where you're just like, all right, you're trying to read the room. You're trying to make the best decision. And sometimes it doesn't work.
It didn't work. That was the year we tried to get up cap room for Dwight Howard, and to get cap room for Dwight Howard, we had to trade down a couple times, and some of our scouts and GM wanted to pick Giannis, and I was like, I can't do that to Dirk. We got a plan.
Yeah,
because all we had literally in our war room, all we had was 2 VHS cassettes of Giannis. That was it.
Oh, wow.
There was no, because he played in this B League in Greece. There was no other video. And they're like, you want me to give up on getting Dwight Howard?
That's tough.
And trying to
That's
get
hard
back,
to do,
And I said no, and it turned out another bad decision. I'm making myself look like a real motherfucking idiot, aren't I?
Hey, but it's just like selling a garbage bag.
Right. I mean,
sometimes you get told no. And sometimes it just doesn't work out.
If it was easy, every team would have 30 championships.
That's true. That's true. And there's a lot of teams that miss.
A lot of teams have never been there.
The Kobe trade.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I still got the email somewhere.
That's crazy. How close were you for that?
So I was on Dancing with the Stars, right? And there was this production assistant named Elvis, who was like the ultimate Kobe Lakers fan.
What a fucking name.
I know, right? Yes. And he was a good dude, right? But it was just like, and so I'd be in there practicing my whatever, and he'd be like, Kobe. And I'm like, Elvis, I think we might trade for Kobe because he's really pissed off at the Lakers at that point.
Yeah.
And so I'm talking to Rob Pelinka, who was his agent at the time, and I'm talking to Jerry Buss at the time, and they were like, okay, if you can convince Jerry, Kobe wants to do this. And so we had a trade.
Kobe's committed.
Yeah. And according to Pelinka. And so we had a trade set up where it'd be Josh Howard, Jet, and I think 2 number ones. For Kobe. And then, oh my God, what was the general manager? The guy from North Carolina, Mitch
Kupchak.
Yeah. And he talked Kobe out of it.
Did he? Oh my goodness. You were that close. It would have been Kobe and Dirk.
Kobe and Dirk. And Dirk was telling me, shit, you can trade me. I would trade me for Kobe. And I'm like, no, Dirk, that defeats the purpose. That defeats
the whole thing.
Yes.
We're trying to get you tied together.
Yes.
Not what the fuck.
But it was that close. About. It was that close.
Sickening. I know you're sick about that one.
I mean, it didn't happen, right? So, so my son heard about it. Jake, he's 15. And so I was like, let me see if I still got those emails.
Yeah.
And I did. So
that's crazy. Talk about, we were talking about on the elevator. Until this year, Dallas never had a number 1 pick.
Never even moved up in the draft.
Never.
Mavs were founded in 1980. And not one time. We had the worst record a lot of times. Like the Shaq draft, we had like one of the worst, just year after year after year, because we sucked so bad for so many years, never got the number 1 pick. Then the year after I sell the team,
we get the number 1
we get the number 1 pick.
That's
and I
crazy.
still own 27%. I'm still obviously a homer, but Yeah, that was like insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
How do you handle the bad years?
I hate them.
I know you struggle with those.
Oh,
like
my
even
God.
the year we didn't make it. I mean, we were close, but
still, like, you know, we had a couple years where I thought we'd be good, and we sucked.
Yeah.
And those were the toughest. But then the years where we know we weren't going to be good and it was about getting a pick, those actually aren't as hard because you know going in.
Yeah.
You know, and it's more like, let's develop our young guys, let's give everybody a chance to play. And so there's not a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
It's, you know, the pressure comes from wanting to win.
Exactly.
Not from knowing you're not as good.
Understood.
So, and actually, those are the years I actually made money.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you're trying to win and you're paying luxury tax or anything, you ain't making money.
Yeah, you just in a hole at that point.
Always.
For sure.
Always.
In those situations, you have a chance to get the Don, Luka.
Yeah.
Did you even think you were going to get him?
Well, first, we had the third worst record, and we ended up with the 5th pick. So that fucked us up. And it was funny because...
Did you know you were going to get LD to start with?
No, we hoped. We wanted him.
Okay.
We wanted him, right? And so it was funny because there was a guy we had, Salah Mesri. You weren't there when Salah was there.
No, I was not
he was
there.
Right before you. Yeah. And so we were playing Memphis. And it's not that we weren't trying to win, but we were letting our younger guys play, right? And Salah was playing, and Salah, the only time he ever took a 3 was, you know, clock running out.
Yeah. Late shot clock.
We're down 1 second to go on the clock. Salah launches a 3. It goes in, and then instead of
everybody's like, oh,
you know, we're like,
yes.
And he's jumping up and down to the players. You know,
you're sitting there like, fuck.
It was like something straight out of Coming to America. You'll stay. But anyway, so we wanted him. And so we were playing the game. Who's going to get drafted where? And so we kind of knew that the Suns were going to pick Ayton at number 1, but we didn't know what the Kings were going to do at number 2.
Okay.
Or then we heard that the Hawks really wanted Trey. And so it all came down to what happened at
with
number
the Kings.
2. Yeah. And so, you know, while we're waiting to see what happens with the Kings, our general managers, the Hawks and the Mavs general managers are talking. Yeah. And nothing was getting done. And so with like, I don't even know how much time left on the clock for the number 3 pick, I called the owner of the Hawks. Tony was like really cool. He goes, okay, it's my GM's final decision, but let me just find out what's going on. And so I'm like, okay, you know, we'll swap picks, and just to move up from 5 to 3, we'll give you a first. Okay. And, you know, it took down to the last minute. And when the Kings didn't pick him, we got that trade done, and that was it. And then we were still terrified, right? Because half the people are saying he can't play, right? He wasn't athletic enough, this and that. And so, and I remember we played in China. We played one of our first preseason games in China against the Sixers. And that's when Ben Simmons was the first Ben Simmons, and you had Joel and everybody. And, you know, they had the legends, Sean Marion, a bunch of guys were there. And I'm like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Because this was make or break for us, right? Because if he wasn't what we needed him to be, we're in trouble. In a hole. Yeah. And he turned out to be the real deal.
It's crazy. I was talking we had Pierre Jackson on here, and he was
Jackson was the man, right?
Yeah. Pierre Jackson was on here. He was talking about Luka, and what you just said. Everybody was just like, can he play? And Pierre was telling, he's like, I saw it firsthand. He was he said, I have never admitted that someone was better than me, but Luka Doncic was better than everybody, hands down, and it wasn't close. He
just had the it factor.
He had the it.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't the best shooter. He wasn't the best anything. Yeah, but he just knew how to play better than anybody. Yeah, and on the topic of Pierre, man, I felt so bad for him because we brought him in during the COVID stuff. Yeah, and he was just killing. Yeah, killing, and then he got hurt. Yeah, then he got hurt.
Talked about he had so many just injuries just come at the worst time.
Killed him, yeah. And like we put him in there, and he was just rolling, right?
When did you know Luka was Luka?
When we were playing Portland, his first year, and we were down 3, and we had an out of bounds play. There was like 0.8 seconds on the clock.
When he hit that shot in that corner?
In the corner.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, are you fucking kidding me?
Different.
The look on everybody's face, not only in the arena, but our guys on the court,
Yes.
like it was like DJ was like his eyes got really big.
Yeah.
Wes Matthews, his eyes got really big, and my jaw just dropped. And then he just started that Luka magic all the time.
All the time. And it's like, we seen it. Does it in practice? Like it's nothing. Practice is, people don't understand, practice is worse.
No,
Practice is when, the things he's done in practice that he ain't even done in the game, you're just like,
what
who
the
thinks
hell?
of shit like that?
I know. I mean, even just pulling up to take a, half court, right at the half court line, just like it's
half-court
nothing.
line, and then just starts jogging back like shit's normal. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? It shit makes no sense whatsoever.
The best Luka ever, we were playing the Knicks, and this was the year, not his last year with us, the year before. And we were down like 9 with a minute to go.
I was on the team that year.
Yeah.
When we played him at home.
Yes.
And he went on that fucking run, missed the free throw.
And he gets the rebound, right?
I was like, what the fuck?
He gets the rebound. He goes right to the ball, pushes the ball up.
Yeah.
It goes in. He does his little frog
his little dance shit. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I've never seen anything like that.
But that's what makes the guy, those guys like Luka are just different. When you sit there like in awe, you're just like,
they just have an instinct. You can't, it's not basketball IQ. It's just instinct. Like being able, like baseball players can see the rotation of a ball.
Yeah.
Right. And you know if it's a curveball the minute it leaves his hand.
Yeah.
Luka knows where the ball's going, all that stuff.
Everything. So we sit that, my first year in Dallas, we get all the way to the Western Conference Finals, beat Phoenix in Game 7. We go party after the game. Great time. What happened that summer with Jalen Brunson?
Oh, I mean, I'm not going to dig, we wanted him to stay. We had the chance to extend him during the season, but remember back then it was always get Luka some help.
For sure.
Right? And we were looking to see if we could build something up with that. And JB wasn't JB then.
Oh man, he took off.
No, it wasn't until he had that playoff series against Utah that he really blew up, right? He was good.
Yeah.
He was solid, right? He could play and he could score. But even like I told JB, like his, now he's got that mid-range game with the pull-up and everything. Yeah. When he was with us, his play was the left-handed, I'm falling over layup, right? Where he would, juke and then get to left and then fall. Yeah. And that was his play. That was his shot. And, and some threes. And we thought it was good, but we didn't think it was that good, right? Not until that Utah game. But by the time we got to the end of the season, it just...
his stock had...
Well, stock had taken off, but the communications wasn't there.
Got you.
Right? And, things, it just didn't line up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, but just there was a reason why the NBA dinged the Knicks for a second-round pick, and it wasn't because they did everything right. So we'll leave it at that.
For sure. And I think it's crazy because everything for him, because LD got hurt last game of the season, and we're like, what the fuck?
Oh, we thought we were fucked. Yeah.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me? We're playing the fucking Spurs for no reason at this point. And he gets hurt. But the next thing you know, JB just puts us on his back. Him and Spencer start balling. And we end up winning games, and Luka comes back. We make a run and get to the Western Conference Finals.
And I thought we were going to beat the Warriors. I thought we had the better team.
Man, I think we ran out of gas.
I think so too.
I think we definitely ran out of gas, especially
because they had like a bunch of rest. And
yes, we had game 1. We went to 6 with Utah, 7 with Phoenix, and this Phoenix series was a lot of emotion.
A lot, because remember they were chanting, Suns in 4, Suns in 4.
It was a lot of shit going.
We go down
exactly.
First 2 games,
and then Luka was like, "Y'all talk a lot of shit when you up,
right?"
And then there was a lot of emotion in that series, and I think the Warriors, after we lost those first 2, and then we lost game 3, it was like, okay,
there's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing we can do
at this point.
Yeah,
but we come back the next year, we're just like teetering. We're not even going up.
Yeah, because we had to replace JB.
We had to replace JB, and then Spencer had to take a bigger role, and then it's just...
We tried to bring in C. Wood to have him be the scorer, right? And it just didn't work.
But then you get the opportunity to bring
Kai in,
one of the most skilled players ever to play this game.
Without question, yeah.
And you, like I said, you talked about it before. People talk about the character of him, and you met him.
I love the guy. Yeah, I love
Unbelievable dude.
But, when you listen to the media, he was the worst.
Yes.
Right. When you listen to some of his other teams talk about him, he was the worst.
Yep.
But when you ask players who played with him,
love them.
And then, like, I would go back and watch his games, but it wasn't even his skill. That was a given. After every game, typically after a game, some guys will exchange jerseys. Some guys, hey, what's going down? Every single dude was like bro hugging Kai.
Yeah.
Like, not like like you were relatives and you hadn't seen each other in 5 years.
Yeah.
You don't do that to a dude who's not a good dude.
For sure.
And to me, that was all I needed to see. And so, and he was, out of sorts with Brooklyn. So it meant they were more than happy to get off of him.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's go.
Let's get it done. So we finished that year, didn't make the playoffs. It is what it is. Then y'all get D-Live. And did you see it transpiring the way it did?
No. Because D-Live was a rookie, right?
Yeah.
And we actually had another guy that we were going to draft that Nico wanted, but somebody picked them, another team picked him first. And I'm like, D-Live.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, D-Live. And I'd be lying if I said, okay, yeah, we're going to the finals.
Yeah.
I just didn't cross my mind that we would get there because we were still questioning, Luka and Kai together.
Yeah.
But they were both mature and responsible enough to figure out how to make it work.
Yeah.
And, we went through some injuries and everything, but then, we got there. And again, I thought we had a good shot against Boston.
Yeah.
But we just, we couldn't make a shot.
Man, I mean, those two were special. Especially that year. I mean, it was like, all right, Luka, you're tired, bet I'll take it.
No, and it was great. Kai been around enough. Like, Kai knew that Luka wanted to get off to start the game. Kai's like, here's the ball. How do you want it?
Yeah.
On a silver platter.
Yeah.
You want to play 12 minutes first quarter? Have all 12.
Let it go.
I'll come out.
Yep.
Right? I don't care if I take a shot. Come fourth quarter, Luka, if you need me, I'm here. If you don't need me, that's okay too. Kai was just so smart. Knowing time and place for a superstar is half the battle.
400%, because you need help. You got to pick your spots, and you got to know, like, I can't do all of this by myself. And you could see it. I mean, you're right. Luka went big in the first quarter. He's like, listen, I'm gonna set the tone. And then as soon as LD went to sit down, Kyle, like, all right,
my turn.
Let me put that battery in my back. Let's go get it.
Even if there's another guy gets hot.
Oh yeah,
here you go.
For sure. And like I said, it's in timing. Luka was way more mature. Kyrie was mature because he played with Bron. He played in Boston.
Yep.
He's been through a lot to understand. Okay, now I can help.
I'm that
this
guy.
generational talent.
That guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
and that was the thing, right? So fourth quarter, like there's only 2 times guys that I knew were all fourth quarter. Jason Terry, like it'd be like fourth quarter Jet. He's like, I got you. Kai, fourth quarter Kai, 4K.
Went big. The next year, you sell the team. What went into that?
I mean, I literally sent an email to Adam Silver in 2022 saying, what the fuck? Like, this is no fun anymore.
What the fuck?
Yeah. The league was getting me shit about everything. Social media, just nonstop. And you can kind of put that out, but it's still all around you all the time, right? And the people kind of follow that lead. It wasn't like I was making money. But with the new CBA coming, it was like, if I'm going to be able to compete, you can't make enough money from the team unless you're going to charge, like Golden State charges an arm and a leg, right? And I would never do that, right? Yeah. We always had 4,000 tickets at $29 or less, 2,000 at $10 or less, whatever, because I wanted everybody to be able to afford it. And I wasn't going to be able to do that anymore. Yeah. And the only way to compensate for that was like, I had to get into the real estate business.
Okay.
And I don't want to get into real estate business. Yeah. I'm cool with learning new technology and all that. So that was part of it. I don't want to have to be a real estate guy that, because now all the arenas got something around them.
Okay.
Right. And so that was one thing. The second part was my kids, now are 15, 18, and 21.
Yeah.
So then they were 13, 16, and 19. I'm like, they're still young.
Yeah.
And if all of a sudden, God forbid, something happened to me and it just fell in their lap, I don't want to do that to them.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to go through like all the trust type shit that, or will and all that shit, because I've seen that happen with other. Yeah. I'm like, that's just not what I want. And so I thought that when I sold it, that I would be able to keep on running the team.
Yeah.
But the NBA wouldn't let me put that that into the documentation,
Okay.
and I didn't want to have an employment agreement.
Yeah.
Which, kind of like what Genie Bus has done and everything, because I don't want a job, right?
For sure.
And so I was like, okay, we'll just play it out and see what happens.
Okay.
But the real reasons were like, I didn't want to be in the real estate business. I don't want to put my kids into a situation where who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
And so that was it. It's not that I stopped, because I'm still involved, obviously. Here's Summer League and all that. Still love it. Still go to all the games. But it just wasn't, I didn't see it as a good situation.
Got you. No, you just, bigger picture.
Yeah, it's just, I was going to have to do a lot of things that had nothing to do with basketball.
Yeah.
None of these reasons had anything to do with basketball.
I didn't do this for this.
No.
Yeah.
Right. It was just like, for the first 23 years, it was like basketball first, everything else second.
Got you.
If I didn't care if people got pissed at me because I did it differently, it was all about fans and basketball.
Yeah.
And winning.
Yeah.
But if now with the new CBA, you've got all these private equity companies coming in, and you've got to be able to build, a casino, or you got to be able to build all this real estate around it. I don't want to have to learn the real estate business.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in a position where I got to put up $2 billion to figure out how to learn that shit.
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay, I'll stick with basketball and let's turn it over to somebody else.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I completely understand your reasoning for it, because it makes a lot of sense. You want to just do if you don't love it, because it goes back to the situation of you waking up. You like computers. You like dealing with software and stuff like that.
I mean, I got the world's, I'm the luckiest motherfucker on the planet.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm doing something that doesn't make me happy at this point in my life, there's no point in doing it.
There's 0 point.
There's no point in doing it.
100%.
And the way it turned out, but at the end of the day, I still get to love basketball.
Exactly.
I don't have to worry about all that. I still help them. It's not like I'm not involved. It went to being not involved to them kind of squeezing me back in some and learning from me. And I get to come out here and cheer on Cooper and the team.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
I can still go out before the game and get up shots. That's what I like.
Yeah.
I do not want to be, okay, show me those real estate plans.
This just doesn't sound fun. I'm not going to hold you.
No.
Don't sound fun at all.
No, it wasn't. There was nothing fun about it. And that was the most important part of the team.
Yeah.
I mean, it just changed. And there's fewer and fewer individual owners. Like it used to be individual guys that were like personalities like me, MJ, whoever it may be, right? But now it's more private equity and guys are selling chunks of the team. And I'm like, and I even sent an email when I told Adam that I was going to sell. I'm like, dude, everything's about valuations. It's not about basketball.
Yeah.
Every team wants to just increase. Like in the meetings, teams would talk about, not about making more money or, improving this or improving. It was like, how can we increase the valuations? I don't fucking care about valuations.
How can we just improve the game? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, that's what I cared about. And so that's where it was.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Luka gets traded.
Yeah.
Where are you and what is happening? What's going through your head?
I'm in an event in Florida.
Okay.
I get a text from Nico, call me. And so I'm like, okay. I call him, and I thought he was telling me that he's thinking about it. Then I realized it was done.
Yeah, it's just done.
And then it's like, nothing I can do.
Yeah.
It's not my party.
Yeah.
So I just, I wasn't happy about it, but, it's Nico's decision. I respect that he did what he thought was right. And now we are where we are, and that's in the past. I mean, maybe it'll be his Steve Nash, and, Luka will go on to win 2 MVPs.
Yeah.
I don't know, as long as, because after we traded Nash, we went to the finals, and then we won the finals.
Oh, yeah.
So as long as it turns out that way,
I don't care. Yeah, for sure.
I love Luka to death. I love his team. I love the people around him. Love his mom. Love his dad.
Unbelievable dude.
Yeah, right. I like LD. But I can like him on the Lakers too.
Yeah, for sure. Well, then we got blessed.
We got lucky.
Got lucky. Yeah. It's a blessing too.
That's a blessing. Yeah.
You get there and you get a chance to get a generational talent in Cooper Flag. Where are you and what are you thinking when you see the Dallas Mavericks get the #1 pick?
I'm getting ready to take a shower.
Okay.
Right? Because for 40 25, 44 years, the Mavs have never moved up, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking this is going to be no different. Where
Yeah.
we're supposed to be at number 11, that's where we're going to turn out.
Yeah.
So got the draft up, and I wasn't even going to put the draft on the TV in my bedroom. My son comes in and said, "You got my 15, and like, you got the draft on."
Yeah.
I'm like, "We ain't going to move up." He goes, and so I'm literally, all I got on was a pair of shorts, and I'm getting ready to go take a shower. And so he's like, "Put it on." So we put it on. And so we get to number 11, and I'm thinking, okay, we're going to be the Mavs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they don't call the Mavs.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at Jake going, oh, fuck.
We're top 10.
Now we're top 4.
Oh,
we're top 4
at
at that point.
For sure.
Right? I'm like, we're top 4. Oh, my fucking God, we're moving up. And he's like, hurry up, take a shower. I'm like, I ain't moving. I'm like, I literally did not move my 2 feet until they came up with our pick, and I started screaming.
Oh,
and that was
crazy.
it. It was insane. And I called Patrick Dumont, the governor now, and I'm like, do you know what just happened? And then it kind of dawned on what it all meant, right? And we're streaming like 2 little girls at a Taylor Swift concert, right?
How much does that mean to the city, having
everything.
Cooper? Oh,
everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Now, you still don't know till you know, right? And there's a ton of pressure on this kid. But he's just watching him yesterday. Yeah, he's special.
And it couldn't be a better situation because there is a lot of pressure on him.
A lot of pressure.
But you can't have better people around him.
No, we've got with J Kidd and
J Kidd, you got Kyrie, you got Anthony Davis.
AD, right? Yeah, he's lucky. He's not coming into a situation where, like Luka did, kind of, right? Where he had to put everything on his back and, grow the organization and help build the team. Now, he's got Hall of Famers all around. Clay, Kai, AD, right?
D'Lo now.
D'Lo now, right? And so he's going to get the benefit of all of that.
For sure. No, it's big time. And I'm excited to see it. I'm excited for the season.
And he's 18 years old. My daughter just graduated from high school 2 months ago, and she's older than him because he classed up. That
don't make no damn sense. And he just signed a $60 million deal.
Oh.
Fuck, what did I do wrong?
Right?
Yes. Y'all got anything else y'all can think of?
Who's your favorite Mav?
Oh, yeah. Answer fucking wisely.
No, on to Maha. Is it Ray, Charlie, or Theo?
Oh, yeah.
The what?
Who's your favorite Mav? Charlie Villanueva, Ray, or me?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we got a show together. So.
No, I saw you guys giving me shit, right? And so
I gave you shit?
Charlie, actually, but yeah, so
Charlie's last there.
I'm going with TP, obviously.
Yes, sir.
But I love Ray. Ray's cool and TP's very cool. They're all good.
Good dude.
You should ask the Kawhi question.
Oh yeah, gotta ask. Oh, this. I asked this.
Older too.
I ask this every episode. Does Kawhi Leonard deserve a statue in Toronto?
No.
Why?
You don't get a statue if you leave.
If you leave?
Yeah. If you leave on your own accord, you do not get a statue.
I can't go wrong. He gave Dirk a statue, so I'm not keep going arguing. My argument is, and I say this: Toronto's a different country.
Yes, it is.
Right?
No, Toronto's a different city. Canada's a different country.
I said Toronto. Yeah,
right.
Canada. There's a kid that's born today in Canada, and they become a basketball fan. They need to remember Kawhi Leonard.
But first they're going to look at Shea, and they're going to go down. There's a lot of great Canadian players.
I'm talking about for that team, though.
For that team,
they're going to love the Raptors.
Yeah,
you grow up, you're a Raptors fan if you're in Toronto.
No, you will be a Raptors fan in Toronto. You will be.
Stop, bro.
The whole country's a Raptors fan.
Come
right?
on, bro.
The whole country.
You were a Raptors fan at one point. Exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
That's the whole point, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Right? No.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. Particularly because he was only there a year?
6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
He was there 6 months.
You don't give a statue to a guy who, and he would even tell you that, right? He would even tell you that.
Hey, listen, I doubt he ever gets one. I'm not saying he's going to get one, but I'm just like, hey.
For the community and all
if you're going to give one to him, you got to put Kyle Lowry like in
That's
front
what I
of
said.
him.
Then I said,
you got to put Charlie V in front of even that one. Facts. Oh, that's hilarious. Mark, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate you getting on, man. Yeah.
This was great. I can't wait for people to listen to this.
The Braun question.
Oh, yeah, you've seen every bit of this. Which is the better Braun to you, 2018, 2016, or 2012?
2012. because he was. Well, I take that back because he'd been around since 2003. I would say 2018 because going home, that's everything.
And he was a menace. Yeah. He was a menace. I agree. Hey, listen.
Yeah, you go because that's extra pressure, and he did it for the right reasons, and he carried his team. And Kyrie was young.
Yeah,
right.
That was 16. So you're saying 16 then?
Wait, 16 was the Cavs, right?
Yeah, 16 was the Cavs, and then he won it with Kai.
Right,
and then Kai had left.
18 Kai was gone.
Yeah, okay, so 16 is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, 16 for sure. Yeah, I agree with that one too. That
was the 3-1 comeback.
Yes,
right?
That was a 3-1 comeback. I see that. I see that. But Mark, I appreciate it. Unbelievable pod.
It was fun. Yeah.
Keep doing your thing, and hey, look, there's nothing more I can say. But thank you. Thank you for everything.
I'm coming down the island to watch you next time.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Hey, that's another episode of Rain Race. I told you we getting bigger and better. We out. Peace.